forgiving myself, that's a really big key. Like, it's like players F up too.
What's up? What's up? How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm feeling good. I literally jump from one live to another. I go live from on TikTok like 4 times a week. I had to jump right over here. So it's been a cool little switch of gears real quick. You feel me?
Okay, I love that. You working.
You feel me? Trying to get like you at the end of the day, you feel me? Appreciate everybody joining in. Appreciate y'all liking the live already. If this is your first time, I am Hood Buddha with Mine After Midnight, and this is The Art of Healing. It's a conversation series where we meet up with dope creatives and just talk about their self-improvement journey. And today is a special one, because we got a celebrity in the building. We got Sly in the building. You might know her as Shanique, Sly, Meek, all that good stuff, you know what I'm saying, depending on your relation to her. And she's going to do a dope writing prompt for us today, too. So I'm super excited. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Man, I'm good. Today's been a really good day. I've been getting my meditation and yoga on, you know what I'm saying, getting that self-care in. So I'm good. But for those who may not be familiar with you and your work, just give us a quick background about you.
Yeah, so I would say at the core of who I am, I'm a storyteller. But I'm a journalist. I write. I also do I conduct red carpet interviews, all the things. I've also executive produced my own documentary, which I co-executive produced with Quiana. I think I saw her join, so shout out to her. But yeah, I'd like to just say, at the core of who I am, I love to share stories.
I know that's right. I can say obviously I did some research, looked at your site and some videos, and you have a really infectious energy. I was watching your videos and I'm like she's at the camera and didn't even realize it, because you just have such a positive aura. So I'm really appreciative of you spending that time today.
Thank you so much. That's so kind of you to say. Thank you.
Yeah, no doubt. And we got to check out that documentary as well, too. But just to kind of dig into everything, tell me a little bit about your journey as an entertainment journalist and how you even got started in the field.
Yeah, so when I was a kid, I used to like to annoy people. I was super inquisitive. I like to ask a lot of questions, and I loved the Oprah show. So I was like, that seemed cool. But I always loved to write, from second grade, and I tell this story often. And I was just home. I'm from Virginia, but I was just home, and too up to now. And so I was just home, and whenever I go home, I spend time with my second grade teacher, Mrs. Simmons. And when I was a kid, we would do journal prompts, but she told my parents before, was this little girl be really writing, she'd be really writing. And so that kind of was oh, okay, this is the first time anyone's acknowledged this. So I wrote more, and then I started doing oratorical contests, because I was I'm gonna grow up and I'm gonna write speeches for the president. I don't know, that was a thing. I was I'm gonna do that. And then I went to school for broadcast journalism with the intention of becoming a sideline sports reporter, and then worked in local news immediately after college. And then I went back to just working 9 to 5, I kind of was going through life. And something actually, it's not just something. My grandma passed the day before my birthday. And I don't know, she was older, but it just made me feel life is short. I need to just do what I want to do. And I literally packed up my little Nissan, came to Atlanta, and took a contract position at Aspire TV. And there I was just a social media coordinator. But I knew, I was no, I want to interview people. So I was reaching out, can I cover this? Can I do this? Can I do that? And now we're here. But yeah, that's a long,
that's
short
awesome
version.
Nah, I love that. Man, that's a lot to unpack. So it sounds like ultimately, though, you really, through processing your grief, took the time or took the chance to like really bet on yourself. Like you said, you took that temporary position in Atlanta, and you also took initiative to do things that might have been outside of the scope of the role and things like that. How did like betting on yourself and taking those leaps of faith and putting yourself out there outside of your role as a social media coordinator help you with like really affirming your desires and self-confidence?
Oh man, it really affirmed, like it really boosted my self-confidence like so much, because I feel like for a very long time I've like, don't get me wrong, I be writing, I love doing interviews, but like when people first meet me, they might think I'm timid and shy, but this really helped me to like, I don't know, like stand in my womanhood and be like, you know what, like step into your power type thing. And so it was just like, I'm not gonna lie, because it's hard. I cried this morning a lot. I cried yesterday because it'd be hard. But every leap of faith is like, it's just getting so much like stronger. I'm like, God got it. Like, I don't know. Like, it's like, I'm not even trying to be funny, but sometimes I feel like I'm just winging it, because like my trust in God is so heavy, because I be like, I legit left home to come to Atlanta to make a name for myself. I did that. And now it's like, whoa, okay, like, what else can I do? Like, you know what I mean? It just makes me feel like nothing is off limits.
Yeah, I love that. You're getting a lot of love in the chat too, and it's so very gorgeous, my love. She says stepping into your womanhood can definitely be tough. I get it. And I
Yes,
can
hey,
definitely
boo.
understand. And I feel you on the winging it. I just told you I came from a live. I be playing Sims on TikTok. Like if that ain't winging it,
I be feeling like I'm a sim. Like,
girl,
I be like, all right, the jig is up. Like,
you be
stop.
mad because your wants ain't fulfilled and whatnot.
Yeah.
No, for real. I actually know some people kind of use the Sims and make like their Sim self, and they use that as like a manifestation tool too. I thought about doing that, but Sims is so wild that I'm like, I don't need them to burn the house down and then, you know what I'm saying? Oh man, you didn't come this far to only come this far. I think that's very powerful as well.
Oh, and go
Um,
see. That was so nice.
and now
That's so
back
true.
into stepping into your womanhood, being in this role, like you said, initially you wanted to do kind of like sports casting in a way. Were there any female or male journalists or writers that inspired you to take this journey? Yeah.
Yeah, so first to come to mind is Gia Peppers, because I love her, and she is, well, I will start from the first. So very firstly for me was Robin Roberts,
Mm.
because I was like, you know what? Robin Roberts is that girl. Like, she has done all the sports reporting. I was like, I want to do that. Like, I did a whole report about her, and I was like, this is what I'm doing. This is it. And after that, like, obviously, like I said, my very first person was like seeing Oprah, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, I want to have a talk show. Like, I want to like have people like listen to what I have to say. But then like as it got real, like Gia Peppers and her friends is like Gia Peppers, Scotty Beam, and these young ladies had a podcast called the Black Girl Podcast.
Mm.
And I promise to you, I used to sit and listen to them at my desk while I was a insurance verification specialist at Bon Secours in Richmond, Virginia. And anybody that knows me, I had sticky notes all over my cubicle. Like, I will do this. I will. Like, I just was like, you know, every day, like, this is what I'm going to do. Like, I'm about to be out of here. Like, you know, y'all can't tell me nothing. But just hearing them be so transparent about the industry, and like we're kind of close in age, that really made me feel like it was attainable. And then full circle moment, like every time I run into Gia, whether it's on a carpet, whether we're working something together, I have that moment. Like, you know what I'm saying? And she'd be like, oh my gosh. And I'd be like, oh my gosh, girl, like, you sharing your journey inspired me. Like, it really showed me that this is attainable and it's okay to do it your own way.
Dang. So you you literally went from like being inspired by this individual to sharing this space. That's beautiful. Like that's dope as hell. And you know, I'm even hearing in the title and how you say like it kind of showed you, you know, different things like Oprah, like every black girl when we were younger, you saw Oprah was rich. We were like, what? I
Mm-hmm.
could do that. So can you share your perspective on the significance of representation in media, particularly for our black brothers and sisters?
Yeah, it's so important. But it's so important, like, down, like, beyond just, like, seeing faces that look like us, but, like, seeing people who like the things that we like quirky. Like, I was always, like, that quirky, like, nerdy girl, like, that also, like, sports, but also, like, all these things. Like, I think that it's important because it's like that quote, like, you got to see it to believe it. You know what I mean? Like, you got to see it to know that it can happen. You got to, like, and that's literally, like, people, my why has changed over the years. And, like, now my big why is, like, so that another little girl who looks just like me from Dinwiddie County, Virginia, shout out to the 804,
Big facts.
can really see that they can do this. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
like I said, like I had peers that inspire me, but I never had anybody that was like the blueprint. Like my mentors are from Dinwiddie, but they work in marketing. And I would be like, look, I want to do this. And they'll be like, I don't know about that, but I could do this for you. You know what I'm saying? But like, I just was in DC staying with my mentor, and that's full circle, like sitting on her porch, drinking wine and just thinking about it. And I had to tell her, like, when I was in college, you took me to CBS NFL Today. I think that's, yeah, the name of it, on CBS. And so I met, like, Dan Marino, like, you know what I'm saying? But I had never, ever, like, I'm from the sticks in Virginia.
Facts.
I had never experienced that, but my mentor is from the sticks too. Like, she's from Dinwiddie as well. So just them alone leaving Dinwiddie was like, whoa, okay, this is a culture shock. Like, just seeing them, that was representation for me. Like, I think sometimes we look to television and movies and stuff, but like sometimes that representation is literally right there in your back door or like right beside you. I should add that my mentor is also my childhood best friend's aunt, who I bugged, that I was like, girl, you work at the NFL, like, tell me, let me know, like, I want to know more, you know? So
Yeah.
that was just big for me, like, that type of representation.
Nah, that's fire. Can definitely resonate and understand. I'm from Matoka. I grew up in Matoka.
Okay, so I grew up off of River Road, so.
Okay, so my grandma lived off Reedy Branch Road. So I used
See?
to spend, yeah. So
See,
we
I was
right
right
around the
there at
corner.
that line. I was right there at that line, like the animal hospital. That's where you turn left to go to my parents. Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah, so we was just playing right around the corner from each other probably. But you're right. Like sometimes you do have to look into your local communities for that inspiration. And something you said also stuck out. You said, you know, you saw the people that were kind of doing it and that inspired you, but there wasn't really a blueprint for exactly what you were trying to do. What was that feeling like then, you know, to not have kind of like that blueprint to follow and having to create it yourself? Is it empowering? Is it scary? What does it feel like?
It's both, because like I said, like earlier today, I was just distraught, like just transparently. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. I need to do this. Like, I don't know what direction I'm heading in. Bills got to be paid, but I like the freedom of freelancing. Like, so it's equally scary as it is liberating. And I just feel like, I don't know, like it's exciting because no one's ever done it like this. You know what I mean? Like, you know, people have done it in their own way. Like, that's not to like big up myself in any way, but it's just like, I really feel empowered because it's like, whoa, I like jumped off the porch and decided to like be like this. And don't get me wrong, there's been so many Black women who have held my hand and lifted me up along the way. But as far as like me being like, oh, this is exactly what I want to do, I never had one person. It's like, I had little pieces of so many different things, and I was like, this is all that I want to be. And I would tell people, but I got so tired of telling people that I was like, you know what? Maybe I just need to show people. Same with even my family. Like, I didn't even tell my family I was moving to Atlanta until a week before, because I knew that they were going to try to talk me out of it. But that's that, and it's not on purpose. It's just that mentality of where I come from is like not always, because then it's like my goddaddy always jokes, and he's like, when you were born, because like my parents were young, like my mom was 21, my dad was 19, and he was like, you got here and it was like, who is this little girl? Like, she different, like, you know, like, and I just was like, okay, I think now, not to be long-winded, is I'm leaning into that difference. Before, I always shied away from it. Like, I would be like, no, like, I gotta be like this or act like this and do this. But me moving away to Atlanta really inspired me to lean into who I am as Shanique, without my family's identity, without my friends back home identity, but like who I am. And so just as stressful as it is and just how scary the unknown is, it's just so liberating. Like, I feel so free.
Oh, I love that. I love that. So do you feel like relocating to Atlanta kind of helped you discover more of who you are because, or instead of me assuming, should I say, was there like a period of isolation? And what I mean is, back home, you can get, you got your friend group. You've known them since you were children and you have the same routine and we eat at the same places and you go to this new spot and you might not have that same circle. So does that kind of period of isolation become a period of transformation?
Oh, I like the way you said that.
Yeah, I just made that up.
Yeah. No, it really did. It really did, because it really just was like, and then I know it's so cliche to say, because with the pandemic, like I moved here August 2019. I hit the ground running, and then a couple months later the pandemic hit, and my first thinking was like, no, how could you, like I'm like, I'm up there like arguing with Sky Daddy, like, why are you doing this to me? I'm just being out here. I'm just getting my feet wet. And so it really did like help me understand. I sat down with myself and I realized like, oh girl, like, was you running away from something? We need to face this. And so facing childhood trauma, facing all of those things, and realizing like, who is Shanique without what my parents say I am, without what my brother and sister say I am, without who my friends say I am, like, who am I? That's really what moving down here did for me. I really felt like I was on like eat, love, pray type of journey. But, and like I said, some days were up, some days were down, but yeah, I really think like being away and isolating myself, and then being in true isolation. I moved down here with my cousin, who's a little bit younger than me, but it was just so easy. Like us, like it was kind of, we were in that together of like, oh no, we gotta do different. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like I understand more of the assignment that like I'm put here to do it differently. Even though I'd be running away from it a lot. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. But I know that
it's scary, especially when you're, essentially kind of a pioneer for what you're trying to do and what you're trying to represent. And also what you're facing, right? Like, we're talking media, which is typically very stereotypical or very difficult. Add in the fact that you are a woman as well, and that comes with its own layer of complication. So I take my hat off to you for, being a voice for all of the stories that you have there. And also being transparent about like the tears. I think that a lot of times, especially as creatives, and with this social media era, we always gotta look like we popping and everything's okay. But like sometimes, like a lot of times, maybe we not so okay. So can you discuss like the role of self-compassion in your journey and the importance of treating yourself with kindness and celebrating your milestones despite those anxieties and fears and things like that?
Yeah, I think the first step was learning how to forgive myself, because I always was like, again, just transparently, speaking, I shape shifted a lot to be what everybody wanted me to be. I'm the eldest daughter. I'm the first granddaughter. I'm like, okay, so I'm gonna put it into perspective. I'm the eldest daughter. I'm the first grandbaby, the first granddaughter on my dad's side, and then on my grandma's side, on my mom's side, I am the first granddaughter. Like, so it's just a lot of that first. So I really like was faking the funk. I'm like, okay, my parents need me to be this, so I'm gonna be this. I'm not gonna say too much because I don't want to offend anybody. Like, that was like the big thing. Like, I always was keeping the peace. Like, oh, we need to talk. Like, why isn't anybody, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then I really didn't realize until like last year, honestly, too. It's a running joke that I'm the crybaby of the family. I'm a Scorpio, so I be crying. I'm a water baby. Them tears be flowing. But I realized I be like, damn, I'm crying because y'all don't cry. Because y'all don't see, y'all don't feel the thing. So what was the question again? Sorry.
It
I
was
feel like I was
basically
going off.
no, that's real talk though, because I believe like sometimes we express the emotions of our ancestors and our other family members couldn't do. But I was basically just asking like the role of having self-compassion for yourself despite
Oh,
that. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
Yeah,
Especially when
so
you're saying like challenging family too, because they're not
listen,
always receptive.
not always. That has been a very uphill battle, but it was that forgiving myself. That's a really big key. Like, it's like play as F up too, so forgiving myself, and then also like not being so hard on myself. I'll be like, I have this thing, I only give myself 48 hours to grieve things. And after that is like, we're moving on. Like, we could cry about it for 48 hours, but like, we got to move on. So that has been a part of it. I journal a lot, but then also just being real with myself and journaling. Like, this is something I incorporated this year because last year I was doing all the things and I had people telling me like, oh, you did this. And I couldn't remember that I did that, to be quite frank, because I was like, what's next? What's next? What's next? So one thing that I do this year is after every big moment is I take a whole day to reflect, to take a salt bath, to cry in the bathtub, to show gratitude and really talk about how it made me feel. Like, you know what I'm saying? And that really has helped like me, because like all that compassion that I've always given to other people, I really had to learn how to give it to myself, because I'm very hard on myself. I'm very like, you're not doing enough. You need to do this. Why you not doing that? You're not showing up for people. But then I like learn like, you know what, girl, you can't even show up for yourself. So like, it's just really taking a lot of honesty. And honesty is humbling. Like, it's humbling. Like, I be having to humble myself, but I'm thankful that I've like stepped into this level of self-awareness, because I just don't know what life would be like if I didn't.
Oh, I know. That's right. Trayvon says hello. So very gorgeous says
Hey,
lately all I've
Trayvon.
been doing is crying. So I get it. Got to feel those feels.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So when you talk about, taking that time to yourself and being honest with yourself, and this is just from conversations that I have with a lot of people. I know a lot of people going through this issue. Like, how do you know, like when you're being honest with yourself, that it's honestly yourself and not like self-limiting thoughts or beliefs still? Like, how are you able to discern between like what's truly you and what may be a self-sabotaging thought?
Yeah, I will say, like, for me, it's like community. Like, I got my core people that I lean on, that I'm like, that I know I can call to be like, yo, am I tripping? Like, I'm gonna tell you what's going on in my mind, and you tell me, like, cause I think that that's like something that's been very helpful to me, is like, I don't have a lot of yes people around me. I have people that's like, you wildin'. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, or that don't even make sense. Why are you doing that? So having those people, like those accountability partners, and just having people that really will just be like, when I do get in those words, because I'm also like a type of person that like, I don't know if you into astrology. Well, clearly, obviously you are, but I'm an Aquarius
Oh,
moon. So
okay.
I be finding for my life, because that detachment, like, be like, oh, I don't feel anything. And then I'm a Capricorn rising, so then it's like, go hard. Like, you're not doing that.
Ciao.
And I just be like, what is this? So I think for me, just having people that are constantly like pouring into me and just constantly that I could come and be my full authentic self and be like, because I'll be giving pushback. Like, I'll call my best friend all the time, Courtney, and I'll be like, mm-mm. And she'll be like, don't think about it like that. And I'll be like, no, like, that's how I feel. And she'll be like, well, let's pray about it. And we'll pray, and I'll feel better after that. But it's just like, I'll be very stuck in my ways sometimes. So having people to like really be like, no, let's go down the checklist of things you've done, of things, of how much you've grown from this. Like, you used to approach this like this, and now you approach it like this. That's something to celebrate right there. And I'll be like, okay. Like, my friends don't let me stay down long, but that also takes me being honest with them. Like, you know what I'm saying? Where I'm like, a lot of times I want to go into isolation mode and not talk to anybody and be like, nah, like, I just want to stay in the bed and be sad. But I don't know. I've just been doing a better job of expressing my needs, which is hard, but I've been doing it. It's hard though. It's real hard.
Listen. I understand. I definitely completely understand. Zodiac wise, I'm a Gemini sun, Gemini moon, Cancer rising.
Okay. You know what? I like Geminis, and it's funny that I brought up my best friend Courtney. She's a Gemini. Hey. Like, y'all are so. It's so funny because y'all like fun till y'all not. But like, I don't ever be on Gemini's bad side, so I'd be like, dang, I can't relate. Like, because I'd be like, once you get on that that bad side, I don't know what to tell you, because you shouldn't have did that. Like, but.
Man, no, seriously. I say that all the time because they always like to say Geminis are two-faced, and I'm like, no. We're gonna reflect the energy you giving right back to us. So I can be cool all day. The moment that you being nasty, I'm gonna be nasty right back. Then what's up? I'm still working on myself. God is not done with me, but it's hood Buddha for a reason. No.
Yes, shout out to the Geminis.
Shout out Gemini gang, super gorgeous in the chat too. You know what I'm saying? We got heavy Gemini energy over here. And shout out to your tribe too for continuously reminding you, you know, of how far you've come. Because sometimes when you're in the grind and the hustle and bustle, like you said, moments can pass by and you might not even realize, like, damn, last year I was back here. 6 months ago I was back here, and now today I'm doing this. And with that, and as you're growing tremendously in your career, how do you perceive failure and success? How does that definition change for you and your understanding of these concepts?
Yeah.
Gemini rising per.
Yes. Okay. Shout out to the Geminis. But I think my perception of, okay, so now that I have experienced a lot of like no's, I experience a no all the time. Before, I would get so distraught and upset and be like, no, the world is over. But now I really, because God has showed me repeatedly a lot, and I do mean a lot, of like why it didn't come to fruition the time that it did, I am better understanding of it, like, so much. I'm not going to lie and say it doesn't hurt. It does, and the hurt initially, because, you know, as humans, we don't like rejection. But right. Like that, no, I really look at it as next opportunity, and it makes me just feel better in that way. And then success, I feel like, to me, being successful is knowing that I'm bringing up other people along the way. Like, knowing that me sharing my journey or my work has helped to inspire somebody in some way. That's success for me. Like, before, it used to be like, if I do X, Y, and Z, like, people always ask me all the time, what's my favorite interview? And most people would think it's a celebrity, but honestly, interviewing my family for the documentary is like the highlight of my life. Like, you know what I mean? So it's just like that, like giving other people a voice. That's what success is for me now. And like, yeah, failure is just like, I don't know. like, I, not to be dramatic, but it's like I feel like I've fallen down so much that all I know how to do is get back up. Like, it's just like, okay, bet this is not the season, but I always ask God to tell me, like, okay, tell me why it's not, and like help me to work on what is going to get me to, how am I getting in the way to me getting to what you want from me. That's something that I've been praying about now. Cause like, yeah, again, like now I just been feeling like, oh, I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop, or I've been feeling overwhelmed or like crying and upset. Like honestly, this morning and like today, this morning I cried a lot, and I was like, how am I gonna get on this live today and try to inspire or share something to help other people? So yeah, that's how I
But
view.
see, that's the beauty of this live, you know what I'm saying? Because people get inspired, or my goal for it is for people to get inspired through people like you and their transparency. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what, literally why I call it the art of healing, because it's like we need to tell, people need to know, like, yeah, I get no too. I cry too. Sometimes I feel like I'm effing up in a failure too. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's where people get inspired and where they really see like okay, so I can do it too. You know what I'm saying? Like, because a lot of times, man, we out here in LA. People tell us all the time, when you in LA, you rich now. People done told me what my salary is, and I'm like, I'll let you think it, but
baby, listen to me. People will legit like be like, oh, you interviewed Ludacris X, Y, and Z. You balling. And I'm like, please show me. Cause baby, I got some overdue bills. I got things I'm worried about. Like, you know what I'm saying? And that's why I never ever got into this. I never got into this business to interview celebrities, to be quite frank. Like, I love it, don't get me wrong, I'm very grateful, that's what I love, but it's not like that's my end all be all. Like, actually I get the ick a little bit if that's all people associate me as, because it's like, no, like, I'm a storyteller, I like to share amazing stories. Sometimes they're the stories of celebrities. You know what I mean? I don't really like to get caught up in that, because that is the part that's hard for me. That is the part that's hard for me, like sharing on social media, being like, oh, I've been on this trip, I've done this, like, but this doesn't equate to how I'm living when I get back home. Because I'm going to be honest with you, I just worked Essence Festival, and it was a huge moment for me. Did a panel, all these things, and I got back home and I was sad, because I was like, what's next? And I was like, yo, I'm attaching my worth to the next big thing, and that's not right. Like, so I had to sit down with myself and get back intentional of like, girl, why are you doing this? Like, you know? So yeah.
Shout out to Trayvon. Trayvon wants me to interview, or maybe you interview, because you definitely gonna get it before me. Interview Chris Brown.
Yes, Trayvon and I went to school together back in the day. So, hey, Trayvon.
Oh, that's what's up. So you make a good point, though, as far as, you had these great milestones, but you feel like the personal life or personal circumstances may not always reflect, what you're projecting outwardly. There's there's a tone of like having to be present there, and then also like redefining happiness. Like, what is happiness for you?
Yeah. Oh man, that's a deep question. What is happiness for me? I think for me, my happiness is attached to freedom. Like the freedom to just be, like, honestly, to just exist, and to just, that's at this point right now. I feel like I'm still like trying to figure it out too. Trying to figure out, like, because at first I was like, oh, I'll be happy when I get this job. Okay, boom, you got that job. I'm still not happy. Like, you know what I mean? So it's just like, okay, like, so now I feel like it's just the freedom to share the things I want to share, to talk to the people that I want to talk to, eat the food I want to eat. Like, I don't know, it's just really big on like freedom, like, and not like feeling claustrophobic or boxed in into like one thing. That's what it is.
Okay, yeah, I love that. I love that. So with that, then also to not box you in, you've mentioned a couple times your documentary, and that actually was one of my questions. What was like your most memorable interview? And you said it's your family. Tell us a little bit about the documentary, and how you even got to the point of interviewing your family. That's cool.
Yeah, so it was like, everybody was soul searching during the pandemic, and I really was thinking about my great grandpa, John Moses Bonner, and him and my great grandmother, Laura Mae Bonner. They were sharecroppers, but he pioneered the Black farmers movement on this East
Oh,
Coast, like the what they're still fighting for and trying to do today. And
yes.
so I was just like, you know what? Let's share that story through the eyes of his children, which is my Nana and her siblings. And so, I got connected with Quiana. Like, we both had auditioned for this organization called Ween. And, like, we were kind of on there together, but we realized, like, we both are, grew up in Dinwiddie, went to the same high school or whatever. And so she and I started collaborating. I collaborated with my friend Miguel. He came and took pictures. And, like, we did a whole production. And mind you, I had no idea what I was doing, but I did a lot of marketing shoots and things for the television network that I worked for. And I was like, we just gonna figure it out. And was able to like really pull it together and like tell that our story. It was like, it's only 14 minutes long. I want it to be more, but like, it's a lot to raise funding and stuff like that because I bootstrapped it all.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, like that's how that came about. And it was just so, I don't know, like it was just so refreshing. Like my family being excited, they come in and share, like they was dressed up, like, and just hearing from their like eyes, like what that was like growing up as sharecroppers. Because honestly, I didn't know all the things my great grandfather had done until he died. When I
Mm.
was like, I was a kid. I grew up around it, but I'm like, oh, I hate farming. I hate picking string beans, snapping string beans. I don't want this life for me. I'm supposed to be a city girl. Get me out of here. Like, so yeah, he passed away when I was in high school, and CNN came to his funeral, and I was like, why is CNN here? And then I found out it's because of him pioneering that Black farmers movement. And now I do feel like one of my reasons for being here is to continue what he is doing or what he started, but in my own way. Because obviously I'm not a farmer, but I sow seeds with the stories I tell. So
That's what I was gonna say. You still sowing them seeds, and you got that pioneer blood in you. Trayvon said you want to play Spider-Man and do a Michael Jackson movie, and thank you for the compliment on the live stream.
yes,
That's so awesome. Hey, and honestly, bro, if you want to do Spider-Man in a Michael Jackson movie, do it, bro. Like, honestly, you can do anything you put your mind to. You can
period.
listen to Shanique right now. She's doing it. People do it every single day. It's a man called NBA Paints that just redo NBA logos on Microsoft Paint. Like,
What?
no, yeah, and like they're now making jerseys from Summer League. I'll send it to you. It's pretty
That's
cool. It's
so
one of my favorite
cool.
things. You can do anything.
Yeah.
Man, that's really empowering. To hear about your great grandfather and everything like that. That's hella dope too. So this leads me perfectly into my next question then, because I've heard you speak frequently about vision boards. So what inspired you to create your first vision board, and what are some of the positive changes that you saw like manifest in your life from it?
Yeah, I can't remember the exact year, but I want to say it was probably like 2014, and it was with my friend Mecca. Like, she was like, we doing vision boards, like, let's do a vision board. And I was like, okay. So I started doing that with her, and it just helped me to visualize, because like that's also something that I never realized I was doing when I was a kid. But how do I say it? I had some crazy circumstances growing up. I'll just leave it there. And I've always had to visualize myself out of that, right?
Mm,
That's how I'm right here today.
mm.
So that's what vision boards also do for me. And it just helps me to like really, and it's so funny that you say it, because I'm literally staring at my vision board for this year, like right there. But I don't know. Every year it's like I wait till the timing feels right, and I just like get my. I used to make a big kind of party thing out of it. Now I kind of like to do it solo because I like to just be with myself, like, and just do my own thing. But yeah, like it's a mix of like magazine clippings. I also write things out like I am or I will, like I'm gonna do this, and it's so wild because every time it blows my mind because it be happening and I be like, this is crazy, but in the best way. And so I think the importance of vision boarding for me is just one of my favorite scriptures is Habakkuk 2:2. Write the vision and make it plain, and though it may tarry, it will still prevail. I don't know. Y'all don't get on me about that. But I know, like, it's like literally write it down, make it plain. So literally, I can sit here and say to you today that I've written my entire life into existence. Even the things that I didn't realize I was doing as a kid until I got older. And I'm like, oh, I've been doing this all along. But yeah.
No, that's actually a real thing. And Trayvon, yes, you are smart and beautiful. I also love that Bible verse you dropped too. But like, I don't know if the teachers were intentionally doing this specifically in elementary school, but a lot of us had to write like those lists of our life goals and things we want to do 20, 30 years. I've actually done a lot of them when I thought about it. Being in LA was one of them. I wanted to be on BET, specifically 106.4. I've done that. I wanted to be on Double XL. So I've done that. Like, I think there's like, I just haven't gone to like Greece. I need a Grammy. You know what I'm saying? So
it's gonna
honestly, like the
happen.
power,
It's gonna happen.
Oh, amen. I'm claiming that. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm trying to do. You feel me? But something else that kind of jumped out to me as you're recognizing that you're hitting these milestones and reaching these goals and you're manifesting these things in your life. God's blessing you with these things. What role does gratitude play in your life, and how do you practice gratitude in your personal and professional journey?
Yeah, I practice gratitude heavily. My Nana and I have this thing called the 3 Ps, where it's pray, prepare, and praise. So like pray for what you want, prepare for it, and praise when you get it. And I mentioned I've been doing it a lot this year that like I will literally sit down after a big moment, pull out my journal and just say, you know what? Thank you. I did this. Like, this is what this makes me feel. And honestly, again, going back to the crying, just sitting in my journal, crying for hours and just being like, whoa, like, I can't believe that this is like, I'm always pinching myself. And I know a lot of times people will be like, my family and friends be more excited for me than I am for me sometimes. Cause like, for me, I'd be like, oh my gosh, like, I can't believe that this is like really happening. But I think having a spirit of gratitude is the only reason that I continue. I'm as blessed as I am today, or that I'm still giving things. Like this one journalist that I met in person and connected with, Kenny. I'm gonna tell you something. We were at Strength of a Woman Festival. I'll never forget. The R&B like concert was playing for the Mary J. Blige Festival, and I'm in the seats bawling, crying. I know that the people sitting next to me was like, "Is she okay?" Like, but it was because he said something to me, and he was like, "Cause again, like it's constant. Like some days are up, some days are down," and he was just like, "God trusted you to build yours from the ground up," and that really sat in my spirit, because I was like, oh my gosh, I'd be crying about how hard it is. I'd be like, oh, why am I not being able to do this? And I'm like, whoa, God put that level of trust in me to just like really build it up from the ground up. I'm like, this is crazy. Like, like him affirming that for me just really made me feel like, I don't know. Because I don't want to be crying on here. So I just think...
This is a safe space.
I know
if
it's a safe space,
anywhere.
But I know that it just... I say all of that to say is that if I don't have a spirit of gratitude, I have nothing, honestly. Like, I have to stop. Like, after every interview, every big moment, I literally have to stop in my tracks and say, thank you, God. Okay, you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans seriously. Because I'd be like, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. like do what, when, where, and I just be like, okay, like, you know.
Yeah. I actually just heard some this morning too, where it was like, if you spend too much time trying to tell God your plans, God will stop talking too. Like, all right, well, let me know when you're done and
Yeah.
once you got it all figured out. Man, damn, that is a word though. Goodness gracious. And I think that's the perfect time to transition into this writing prompt that I'm so excited to do. So for those of y'all that don't know, today is August 8th, and it is what they call the Lionsgate portal. So this is an annual astrological event that's thought to bring energy that enhances spiritual growth, self-awareness, personal transformation. It's a time for setting intentions, releasing those old patterns, and connecting with your higher consciousness. And the lovely Sly is going to lead us in a prompt today. So I'm going to let you take it over and get your pen and paper ready, y'all, because we're going to do this together. We finna manifest.
Yay. Okay, and I got my journal. It's from Be Rooted. It's a Black-owned company. It's
Hey.
in Target. Shout out to Jasmine. Been with her from the beginning, and she has a new astrology collection. So this is the Scorpio one.
Hey, make sure y'all go support. You said Be Rooted in Target. Make
Mm-hmm.
sure y'all go get that.
And I'll read you the Scorpio mantra like while we start, because at like each one has like a mantra. So this one, the Scorpio mantra is emotional energy is my fuel. Haha. I know what I want and I am not afraid to work hard to get it. My ambition, commitment, and drive are my strengths.
I received that. I received that. I got my book ready. I'm ready.
Yay. Oh yeah. Shout out to Cleona. That's my Scorpio sister. Okay. So I just go?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So I would say let's start our journals, and one of the the prompt is a journal entry. We're gonna date it 8/8/2024. And it's a year from today. And we're gonna write in our journal about where we are. So write in the present tense about where we are at this time on this date next year.
I love this.
And so that'll look a lot like I will be sitting in my skyrise apartment overlooking Los Angeles.
Dog. I literally, that's crazy. Very LA, but
So we could just write 8 prompts, I guess, because it's like 8, since it's 8/8.
okay, that's dope. I can do that.
Network.
We'll give everybody a couple more minutes to finish up.
Okay. I'm on my last one. And okay.
I feel inspired.
Yes.
If you're at home and you're still working on your 8, that is perfectly fine. Take all the time you need and make sure you're truly feeling your intention and the things that you're setting forth. Because that's what I said. This is for where we will be next year. So what do we do with this now? Do we keep it? Do we reflect on it in a year? Do we burn it? What happens?
Yeah. So we keep it and we reflect on it for a year. I did see somewhere that if you want to take things a step further, you can fold the paper 8 ways toward you and then sleep with it under your pillow tonight.
8 ways towards and then under the pillow. We definitely doing that one right there.
Yeah.
Dang, that was powerful. I felt good while writing it. So
Yeah,
I
me
hope
too.
everybody else did too. This is the first time we've done like something like this on the live. So I hope everybody enjoyed that. That was really dope. And thank you for leading us in that. Man, we've been on here almost an hour. I have just like 2 more questions. I honestly could talk to you for hours. So we'll probably have to do another one sometime. You know what I'm saying? I feel like there's just so many layers and so much that we could talk about, that you just can't always get in an hour, but that's
No,
right.
for sure. Time moves by so fast.
Listen, man, especially in these combos, like I'll have all the segments and the questions, and then next thing I know, I'll be like, oh, damn, I didn't, oh, dang.
Yeah.
So I appreciate it. I appreciate you being patient with me as well, because I am no journalism major. I'm just a kid out here with a dream to have conversations with my people that'll make us whole. No.
Come on now. I'm so like that's what makes it so beautiful. Like when you walk in that, the biggest thing about it is that soul's purpose. Like, what is your soul purpose? Like, are you doing what makes your soul happy? Like, forget everybody else. Like, that's the biggest thing.
Well, I think that answers the first question. I was going to say, what would be your advice for someone who's in the field and they might, be struggling with their spiritual or emotional well-being? What words would you give to them if you could?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, like for real, betting on yourself. Because like so very gorgeous said, betting on yourself because it's more than betting on yourself too, but like knowing why you're doing it, do you want to do it for the glitz and glamour or do you want to do it for something else? Identify that because that's going to help you. Anybody who knows and is in this field is like, it's not the glitz and glamour every day. And that's not to discourage anyone, but it's to just really identify what you're passionate about. Yes, shout out to Be Time and Unwind. Faith. Yes. Faith. And that goes into who are you doing it for? Is this for you? Like, who are you doing it for? And just, like faith, you have to have like crazy faith. Like, I'm not even exaggerating, crazy, crazy faith, because if you don't have that, it might be, I don't know. It's like, again, that's not to discourage anyone. I think the number one thing is, again, knowing what you're passionate about, having that faith, and just truly betting on yourself and believing in yourself. That confidence is going to get you so far. And we live in a world where we have social media now, where you can utilize the tools and the access that you have to create any lane that you want for yourself. We have it so much, I'm not going to say easier, but we have so much at our hands and at our fingertips that you could do it your own way. You don't have to attach yourself to all these big brands, but have that same ferocity that you would have with 100 people with one person. You know what I'm saying? Like, just really just, you know, a lot of times people get caught up in the views and the likes and how many people are reading. And that's not what it's about. It's about the story that you're trying to tell. It's about the message that you want to convey. And so, yeah, that would be my advice. Like, know your why.
Know your why. Know your why. Know your why. That is so important. You preaching over here, man. So where can we find you if everybody wants to follow you, and where can we find your work? You all over the place. So what's the best place to find Sly these days?
Yeah, so you guys can find me on Instagram at As Told by Sly, like As Told by Ginger, but Sly, because Sly, if you don't know, those are my initials. And so, yeah, you can find me there. You can also, go to my website, astoldbysly.com, or go on my Instagram. I follow back, like, follow me. Let's talk, like, let's chat. I always say, like, my DMs are open to just anything, like not anything, but like my DMs are open. Like if you ever have any questions or you want to talk, like I'm gonna get back to you. I'll make the time, because like I said, I know what it's not to not have that blueprint for what you want to do. So a part of like what really makes me happy is like being able to help other people along the way. And yeah, you can find my words in Afrotech, Aspire TV, Revolt TV, on Revolt, the website. And yeah, that's where I'm at. Like, I'm on YouTube. Like, I'm trying to do better. I'm on TikTok, As Told by Slide 3. But, like, y'all, it's a lot of social media things out here. And I can't keep up. So, I'm trying. Like, I'm trying to, like, get the content out, do the stories. Like, but I'm giving myself grace. Like, I'm just still having fun with it. And that's where y'all can find me.
Fire. Thank you so much for spending time with us today, letting us get a deeper look into you, your life, and everything. You really have a beautiful spirit, and I can tell by all the love that you've already received in here. You know what I'm saying? I really appreciate it. So last question, and I'll get out of your hair for this episode. What advice would you give to your inner child?
Oh, girl, ain't nothing wrong with you. There's no limit to what you can do. Your dreams are not too big. That's what I would tell my younger self. I would just tell her to keep going.
Yeah, I know that. That's all right. Yeah, keep going, keep striving. You're doing beautiful work. You really are inspiring people. I'm inspired by you. You know what I'm saying? Aiming in my own way, especially hearing your story. And I have no doubt, you know what I'm saying, that God is going to continue to bless you. You know what I'm saying? You're very connected and stuff like that. So just thank you for sharing the part of you that makes you so special with us today.
And thank you so much. And I love you guys so much. And I'm just so grateful. Thank you for opening this space up for me. I almost made it to the end without crying. I really did. But just thank you for this amazing platform. Like, honestly, you are doing the Lord's work. This is what people need to see and what they need to hear. Because like we said before, everybody focuses on the glitz and glamour and all the highs and not the lows. And I think that instead we should focus on just all the things that make us us. So thank you for having this platform. And I can't wait to come back. I can't wait to see all the things that you do with this. And I can't wait to visit y'all in LA. Like, I'm stamping that. Like, the next time I come to LA, we are hanging out, like, for sure.
Hell yeah. Let us know. We're gonna take you to the good food spots, because they be lying on LA food out here. They just don't know.
I need it. I need somebody to, like, restore my faith, okay?
I got you. We're not going to none of that tourist stuff, but I appreciate your words as well. I ain't finna be crying. I'm trying not to cry, you know what I'm saying? But I definitely resonate with a lot you've said, especially sometimes just not knowing if what you're doing is the right thing, or if this is it, or if it's going, you know what I'm saying? And just, like you said, listening to God. And every day I get up and I say, what should I do today? And I follow that. And I don't overthink it, because it's God's plan, never mine, never yours, never anybody that's watching it. So, hey, remember your why, like the lady said, and we will be back. We got some new stuff that will be announcing soon too, some more content and things like that. And I hope the rest of y'all have a very, very blessed evening. Go meditate, do some yoga and stuff like that for your spirit. Love y'all.
All right.
Peace.
See you later. Peace.